Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. So I'm doing a different kind of video today than I've ever done before. I want to talk about a company that sells miniatures. It sounds so much like an advertisement. Actually, this is not necessarily just an advertisement for the company. But one thing that I'm really intrigued about is I think that the the creation of the Ninth Age and the relative success of the Ninth Age so far has reversed a long time trend in how this whole hobby operates. One of the concerns that people have said about a project like the Ninth Age is that is it sustainable because is there a company because there's not a company supporting it, a company that makes miniatures, um, is it viable in the long run? And I think so, but who knows, whatever. But what I find especially intriguing is that instead of there being a company that makes miniatures and makes the rules so you can play their miniatures, now we have a system where the rules are being made. There's a game that exists, and now miniature companies are starting to come to the Ninth Age saying, we want to make miniatures specifically so people can use it for your game system. Now, obviously, there are plenty of miniature companies that just make miniatures, period, and they're a great resource for players that want to go there and buy their miniatures. Nothing wrong with that. But I was intrigued by this. This is a company, Tabletop Miniatures. It's a brand new company. The guy was telling me is the story that he and some others that owned some similar model gaming companies got together and they wanted to create a game system. And then when they looked into the Ninth Age, they kind of scrapped that and said, let's not worry about creating the rules. There's a lot of work there. It's not our core competence. We want to make miniatures. So they created accounts for the Ninth Age, and they went there and they said they created a poll and asked the community which uh, which army line needs custom built models the most. And when the voting was done, the answer was the Undying Dynasties. So they just started creating models based on units in the Undying Dynasties book. I find that very intriguing, and because they did that and they're one of the first companies to do that, I wanted to highlight them um, and just show people kind of what they're doing. And since I'm also building up an Undying Dynasties book, this is a little bit selfish because I'm just doing it as I'm looking for models for my army as well. So the one thing he sent me was the uh, the concept art they created for the hierarch. So they there's they polled the community, which models might there be a need for. This is one of them. They created the concept art, and then they created the uh, the mold, and then of course the models from that. So there's that with the pieces apart. This is different angles for him up. I thought that just the process was intriguing. Then of course they have infantry. I'm looking at possibly using these guys for my elite infantry in the Undying Dynasties book. The hand weapon and shield are available. They're currently creating the molds for the halberds, and that'll be available soon. Um, I asked him if he could send me a couple samples of these guys, and he will, I think. And I'm looking at this, and I'm intrigued by the level of detail that's there. Really intrigued how it will look like in person and how it will look when it's painted up. Because as of now, I'm really excited about it. There's that, and this is them in pieces. So they have some cavalry. They have shields and light lance that are already created and available for purchase. They are sculpting the ones with bows. There's all that in pieces, which is nice because you might need to swap things around. Here's the concept art for the Pharaoh. You notice they have a couple different head options there. And so here's one of them with one of the head options and the one with the other. A couple different angles. And then this one hasn't even been created yet. This is just the concept art for the Shopti. And it's funny because he said that when they did the concept art, they weren't really that in love with it. but they put it on the Ninth Age forums, and there was a positive response there, so they went ahead and stuck with it. I would have given a positive response as well. I think this looks I think it looks really good. So when I'm looking at it for my army, I'm like, well, they have archers. I already have a ton of archers just because I had them anyway. But they have those coming soon. They're sculpting the ones with great weapons. They're sculpting additional hand weapons. They're sculpting command groups. They're making a Praetorian helmet upgrade. I don't know what that means, but I like the sound of it. They're creating their own scenic bases, which I think is interesting, and then creating head swaps. And if people have other models and they want to swap them out and keep consistent in the army, all very interesting ideas. Um, Kudos to them. I mean, I can't vouch for them in terms of how how they're going to run themselves as a business. I hope they do it. I hope they do it well, but I will give them props for being willing to try something that hasn't been done before, and that is be the model company customizing things for a game system that they didn't make. So excited to see that. I'm excited to get my sample models. I can paint them up and see how they look, and if I like them, then I can just go ahead and buy, flesh out the rest of my army. So yeah, I'm hoping other companies will step up and do something similar. I think that'd be really exciting. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.